Hello. I just want to talk a bit more about the actual processes of how I managed to get to Germany peak coronavirus. So I am actually filming this. I'm not leaving on the plane for another 4 weeks, but I thought I should do it now because I might be it might be embarrassing to film this while I'm there. I've got this little manila folder and it's got my name, and this is basically all the documents that I will ever need while I'm over there, and ones that I'll need to show at the border as well to prove that I am there for a reason. Because even after everything I've done, which I'll go over, I can get to Germany and they have the right to just say no. The border can just say no and send me back, which should be really expensive. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. The first step, of course, was motivation, technically. I knew that I wanted to go to Germany and I would do anything to get there. That's the kind of person I am. When I know I want something, I will stop at nothing. So basically, I was looking at universities. I was thinking maybe I could do uni there. I really just wanted any excuse to be there, even if it meant doing a uni course I didn't enjoy. If it meant I was doing it in Germany, I'd be happy. I was looking into it and I'm like, oh, actually it looks pretty good because I don't have to pay for my accommodation, food, insurance, travel. I don't have to pay for a single thing. And additionally, I get paid on top of that. It's not that much pay. It's about €310 a month. So that's about 500 Australian dollars. So it's definitely not like what I'm getting now. But as I said, I'm not paying for anything. So imagine if I was paying for it, it probably ends up being that much left over anyways. So I went through a website called Au Pair World. And they're an agency that don't actually do anything for you. It's literally just where you meet the family. You don't actually give them any money or anything. So I met this family in April of 2019. And then we decided to start chatting over WhatsApp. And it wasn't long until they officially asked me to be their au pair. And I of course said yes. And so initially we were going to start June 21st, which would have been 4 days from now where I'm filming this. But we decided to push it back for the sake of COVID, and also so I could, get a bit more money built up from my working and things like that. So from there, when they officially invited me, they sent over some paperwork in the mail, and that included my au pair contract and my au pair invitation letter. Okay, so this is basically what the au pair invitation letter, it is an officially recognized document, and you do need this to have your application for getting a visa and things like that. And they basically said the kids' names and their ages and what I'd have to do. And then I've got the actual contract, and that basically entails everything that I'll have to do as an au pair. So it says details about the family. So it says how many people, 4 people, 2 adults, 1 boy, which is 7 years old, and 1 girl, which is 5 years old. So of course we then had the issue of like passports and visas and things like that. I've traveled internationally quite a bit before, but my passport that I had at the moment, it would have expired during when I was in Germany. So that's just a no-go. So I had to go get a new passport. And up until this point, Mum just paid for my passport because I was a minor. And so reality check, I got in there and they're like $350. So anyways, I took the photo for the passport, absolutely hated it, paid the $350, and I got it. Took quite a while to get back, which is not what I expected because I didn't think anyone would need a passport in coronavirus times, but I was wrong. You did. Took a little bit to get back, and that was all well and good because I needed that then to apply for my visa. So I initially applied for a 1-year visa because I'm staying in Germany for a year, so I wanted to cover up the whole thing. But unfortunately, the most they can actually give you is only 3 months for Schengen countries, because you need to be able to prove that you can speak the language to be there for like a long amount of time. So they gave me a 3-month visa, and then I need to do a language test when I get there, maybe like August, or between August and October, where I need to actually sit down and speak with them for them to grant me the visa, the full 1-year visa. But they said it's not too bad because they really want to get more people in the country, so they might be a bit easy with me, which is good. To get the visa though, I also had to do a language test anyways, so I had to go to the Sydney German consulate embassy, in Woolloomooloo. And that was really scary because I had to give them all these documents, and I understand the whole stereotype about Germans being like punctual and cold because it was terrible. I'm sitting there and he's just staring at me. And he's like, come on. And I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, your papers. And I'm like, oh. So I hand him the sleeve that had all the papers in because I looked up everything that I'd need. And he goes, no, take them out. I was like, sorry. And so I take them out of the little sleeve and then I hand it to him. And he's looking through it all and he's just like, what is it? And he goes, I need to do a German test. And I'm like, okay. Not prepared for this. I had no idea that I needed to do that. I hadn't done German for a little bit. Very not warmed up. And I was like, great, okay, let's do it. And so he asked me some questions, you know, what's your name? So he goes, okay, I'll be right back. And he goes and gets another lady. And she's like, all right, what's the problem? I'm like, there's no problem. She sits me down and she just goes, what can you say in German? Like, that's a bit of an open-ended question. Like, I can say a lot, but nothing that's going to relate to what we're saying. She goes, can you say where's the train station? And I was like, yes. Wo ist der Bahnhof? And even though I don't think that was actually the right gender, but it doesn't matter. And she goes, okay, have a good time in Germany. So apparently that's all I needed to know in German to be able to go to Germany is where's the train station. And from there I had to apply for DFAT. DFAT is basically the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, I think that's what it stands for. And I have to go through them to ask for a travel exemption. So I applied. I had to get a statutory declaration saying what I'm doing. I don't think I even had my visa back at this point, but I was already applying, like physically didn't have it back, but I was already applying and I sent it off and it came back like approved. I couldn't believe it. I saw it come up in the email. Here's the email. I printed it out. I couldn't believe it and I was like, Mum, and I rang Mum and I'm like, that was it. That was literally the last thing that I had left on my list. Officially allowed to leave the country. They have no reason to not let me go. But of course, before I was going to step foot anywhere, I did need to make sure my insurance was all done. Obviously, I don't have to pay for the insurance, which I said earlier, I don't have to pay for my own insurance as an au pair. That's my family does that. And so this is the insurance that I got. It's literally au pair insurance. That's exactly what it's for because it's really common. And that covers me for everything, including COVID, hospital stays, everything. As part of my DFAT, I did need to show, on top of my working contract, that I could also use like an education kind of contract. So what I did was I showed my contract with my language school that I'm going to, which by the way, is on the border of Switzerland, about 15-minute walk from the border. So I can just, after my lessons at any time, if I want to. Some things that I also have with me just as precautions, because I have, like, I want to be over prepared rather than under prepared, is I've got all of my details, like don't look at my card number, some more versions of my contracts and all, everything like that. Oh, I need to add, I needed to write a cover letter about why I want to enter their country. My name is Olivia Beck and I'm an 18-year-old woman. My date of birth is the 11th of August 2002. I'm applying for this trip to Germany on the basis of being an au pair for a family of 4 living in Redovstal and Bodensee. I have always loved the country of Germany along with its languages, cultures, pastimes, and I would love to utilize this traveling experience to immerse myself in it. I already have knowledge of the German language, but I would like to expand upon that and possibly become fluent in Deutsch by the time I return home from Australia. I plan to stay in Germany for the duration of 1 year, starting on the 1st of August 2021 and ending on the 1st of August 2022. So that's been changed. I'm actually leaving on the 15th of July because that was cheaper flights, and it gives me a bit of a 2-week leeway if I need to come home, and I don't want to obviously come home after my visa ended because that will cause issues. I have the means and finances to support myself. I will have $20,000 AUD in savings by the day of my arrival, and will also be receiving the income of €310 per month from my au pair family. I have full health insurance for my travels provided by my host family at the cost of €39 per month. The insurance policy number is this. I'm not telling you. Because we are traveling in COVID times, some things that are really necessary is either proof of negative COVID test in the airport or a full immunization history statement and a certificate saying I've been vaccinated from COVID-19. But this is the one time that having an autoimmune disorder has been helpful, because without it I wouldn't have been able to get vaccinated and I would have had to quarantine when I got to Germany. But because I have an autoimmune disorder, I was able to get vaccinated early and I'm actually fully vaccinated now. Here's my certificates. So because I can show this, I won't need to prove that I have a negative test and everything will be allowed. I don't need to quarantine, which is just absolutely the best thing ever. Here's my extra travel insurance. Here are my flights. I am stopping via Dubai. I'm landing in Frankfurt in Germany, but I'm stopping in Dubai. I leave Sydney about 9 p.m. and I get to Dubai about 5 a.m. It's only about a 3-hour wait and then I get to Frankfurt. So we chose Frankfurt Airport, even though I'm closest to Zurich, because Zurich is in Switzerland and I didn't want to have to go through 2 countries and I just feel like it would make it worse because of coronavirus. And Frankfurt is the only one airport with an autobahn connected from there, from A to B, from their house to the airport. Departing flight, flying with Emirates. I've got 37 kilos, so 7 for carry-on and 30 for check-in. Hopefully that'll be enough to pack up my whole life. I'm really hoping that the German border force knows how to speak English, because otherwise it's going to be a bit scary. Once I get to Germany as well, I do need to also apply for a residency permit, and I'll need to bring my photos along to put on that one. They also use, this is the one I used my passport and my visa. All of these sheets of paper are in my manila folder. So I just want to go over the cost of what everything actually came to. So first of all, we've got the passport. That was $350. The passport ID photos, which were $20. And then I also had my visa application, which was $100. This is all AUD, by the way. And then DFAT was free. Obviously my au pair contract, everything like that was free. My flights came to $1,700. My insurance, I think, was an extra like $50 for the 2 weeks. I spent $250 on snow gear, and that included some snow boots, a soft shell jacket, a nice ski jacket, 2 sets of thermals. I don't even know. It was very worth it, very good. Oh, a fleece set, that was really good. I've worn all of these already because it's been cold here at the moment. If you didn't need to get a new passport, that's a big chunk of money right there that you could save if you don't need to get a new passport or anything like that. Thank you for watching. I know it was a bit more of a boring kind of video with numbers and paperwork and things like that, but it's a bit, you know, it's the most important part of moving overseas. And if I don't have it, then it will cost a lot more money in the end. So, yeah. Bis später.